The fact that he's willing to make a promise at the outset that it must be a black woman, I got to say that's offensive.
Right.
Black women are what, 6% of the U.S. population? He's saying to 94% of Americans, I don't give a damn about you. You are ineligible. And he's also saying it's actually an insult to black women. If he came and said, I'm going to put the best jurist on the court, and he looked at a number of people and he ended up nominating a black woman, he could credibly say, okay, I'm nominating the person who's most qualified. He's not even pretending to say that. He's saying, if you're a white guy, tough luck.
What's up, everybody? It's Jackson White, co-founder and chief of content at Politiscope, and thank you for tuning in to TYT today. Now, Ted Cruz is offended, and by the way, I'm wearing these shades today just because, no other reason than that. Just because we're talking about Ted Cruz. But Ted Cruz is offended. It is offensive that Joe Biden would have the gall to nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court because, black women only make up 6% of the population. And because of that, he's shunning everyone else. All the millions and millions of white women or white men who could potentially fill the seat because, that's never happened before. We have to make adjustments, people. We can't keep on going down this path of wokeness. One of the things that's most ironic about Ted Cruz is that literally no one takes this man seriously, not even Republicans. Now, that doesn't mean that he isn't a useful idiot, that he isn't a useful tool and a con man. However, this is a man, mind you, who the entire Republican Party rejected in the presidential races. The entire Republican Party, the entire Republican voting base laughed at. It's Donald Trump disrespected his wife, the matriarch of his family, the mother of his children on national television. And Ted Cruz just took it. He gave the whole, you crossed the line speech, but then he just took it. And then the disgraceful picture of him phone banking for Donald Trump. And you could see the look on his face for how he truly felt. This is a man who fled to Cancun during the terrible ice storm that happened in Texas that really, really messed everything up for people. I know people who suffered from that. And then had the nerve to blame his family for they wanted to go somewhere. And, I'm really rich and I'm a powerful senator, and it's not like I couldn't find entertainment for my family here in Texas, or at least let them go and I stay here. There were many other options, but of course, just like every other, at least Republican in office, they preach about responsibility, but when it's time to take responsibility, of course, they take none. Listen, Ted, the more important thing is that representation matters, and you know that. For you to sit here and pretend like, it's so offensive, Americans will see that and they just won't understand that, hey, someone who makes up 6% of the country, who makes up 13% of the nation, that's African Americans more at large, who's mostly in prison, African Americans and Latinos. Of course, you see, this is why representation matters, because the laws that people like you, Ted Cruz, the people like you support, these laws lead to outcomes that severely impact the lives of minorities. And this is why we need a left-leaning black woman on the Supreme Court, because it really can end up making a difference when right now, you already know we have an imbalance of conservatives on the Supreme Court. And so it's good that Justice Breyer is stepping down so that we can do something. And also, as we've covered on here as well, the Biden administration has actually done a good job at appointing federal judges due to some of the rules that Republicans passed during Trump's administration, so that they could get around procedural processes and bureaucracy in terms of appointing federal judges. And so, Biden, keep on doing your thing in terms of here. We're not here to criticize you on that. We'll criticize you where it's needed, but we're here to push the lever where you're doing a good job. So let's make sure that we get that done. And Ted Cruz, shut up.